good morning, good afternoon, good night, wherever you may be in the world. Thank you for joining me for another edition of the Truth Conductor Show. Happy Saturday, everybody. May be in the yeah, it's working. Make sure I got my new microphone, man. So I had to make sure that it was working, and it is working. Happy Saturday to everybody. Boy, it's hot. I'm telling you, we got a heat wave going on in DC. Today it's gonna be 91. Tomorrow it's gonna be 92. Monday 92. Tuesday 95. Wednesday 96. So we in a little what you call heat wave, boy. And here it gets humid, hot and humid. So you ain't had a rough night in DC until midnight. It's almost 100 degrees. And your air conditioner don't work. All right. So we're back to our usual Saturday in Proverbs. Proverbs is the one book in the Bible that has a chapter for every day of the month. 31 chapters in Proverbs. And when there are not 31 days in the month, keep reading until you catch up. And then you can just go right over, okay? So no, I'm not a Seventh-day Adventist or a Jehovah's Witness. I just follow my calendar. My calendar goes from Sunday to Saturday, and it took a while to break that tradition of going to church on Sunday, making Sunday the Sabbath. Tomorrow is the first day of the week, and the whole world will be celebrating as it's the last day of the week, and that's through tradition. So we trying to break the tradition, man, and it's gonna be. It ain't easy. It ain't easy. I'm telling you, it ain't easy. Okay. So anyway, today is the 26th. So we gonna start on the 26th chapter of Proverbs. And like I said, Proverbs is a book in the Bible that will show you how to live today. You don't have to wonder what it was like 2,000 years ago. Okay? When you read Proverbs will not only show you yourself, it'll show you your friends, it'll show you your enemies, your co-workers, your siblings, your children. It'll show you everything. It shows you how to deal with life. Okay? Proverbs was written by King Solomon, the wisest man ever, and no man will be as wise. Okay? So there's something that you can learn from the wisest man ever. But anyway, let's pray and get into the word. Father, I thank you for another day to gather around your word. Speak through my mind, speak through my heart, and speak through my lips, that I may precisely articulate this word that pierce the hearing, the vision, and the hearts of your children, so that we may live the righteous lifestyle you have ordained for us to live. In Jesus' name, amen. Hey, Kevin, thank you for joining me, man. You're the first one up in here today. Thank you. So as I said, Proverbs has a chapter for every day of the month. And since this is the 26th, we're going to start on the 26th chapter. Now, I'm reading from the Message Bible and the New King James Version to give you a contrast so that you can see a difference, okay? Verse 1, we no more give honor to fools than pray for snow in summer or rain during harvest. In the New King James Version, it says, as snow in summer and rain in harvest, so honor is not fitting for a fool. Okay? Honor is not fitting for a fool. And when you start honoring a fool, you're going to suffer the backlash. Okay? Verse 2, you have as little to fear from an undeserved curse as from the dart of a wren or the swoop of a swallow. In the New King James Version, it says, like a flitting sparrow, like a flying swallow, so a curse without cause shall not alight. Okay? And see, that's people running around upset with what you're talking about or what you're dealing with, and then try, oh well, this is no, man, don't you don't have time to deal with that foolishness, because that's what it is, foolishness. Okay? A whip for a race for the racehorse, a tiller for the sailboat, and a stick for the back of fools. In the New King James Version, it says a whip for the horse, a bridle for the donkey, and a rod for the backs of fools. Because a fool, you can't tell a fool nothing. Okay? They're not gonna listen. This is Saturday in Proverbs, Earth, which we do on Saturday. Yeah. Yeah, I'm a conductor. Yes, I am. I am a conductor. Yes, I am. I am. I am a conductor. Yes, I am. So yes. So that's what we're dealing with, man. You know, if you're not satisfied with the positive energy that's being put into the universe, okay. Well, Kenzie, that's my brand. That's my brand. I used to be a bus driver, and everybody would say, then when I drove a bus, you know, I had this kind of, yeah, and everybody would say, man, you look like a conductor. So I just, you know, one day, Truth Conductor came to me, and I just, okay, I deal with it. All right. Verse 4, do not respond to the stupidity of a fool. You'll only look foolish yourself. Okay? Do not respond to the stupidity of a fool. You'll only look foolish yourself. In the New King James Version, it says, do not answer a fool according to his folly, lest you also be like him. See, and that's why you have to be careful about who and what you're entertaining. Okay? Because some people will come along just to throw a monkey wrench into whatever it is that you're doing out of spite. Okay? Verse 5, answer a fool in simple terms so he doesn't get a swelled head. Answer a fool in simple terms so he doesn't get a swelled head. In the New King James Version, it says, answer a fool according to his folly, lest he be wise in his own eyes. Okay? All right? And that's what you're trying to, that man, when you find out a person is a fool, The best thing that you can do for that person is get away from them. Okay? That's the best thing that you can do. Verse 6, you're only asking for trouble when you send a message by a fool. Okay? You're only asking for trouble when you send a message by a fool. In the New King James Version, it says, he who sends a message by the hand of a fool cut off his own feet and drink violence because they ain't dependable. Okay? All right? They're not dependable. When you start putting faith in a foolish person, that's your first mistake. Okay? Verse 7, a proverb quoted by fools is limp as a wet noodle. Listen to that. A proverb quoted by fools is as limp as a wet noodle. In the New King James Version, it says, like the legs of the lamb, like the legs of the lame that hang limp, is a proverb in the mouth of a fool. Okay? All right? Verse 8, putting a fool in a place of honor is like setting a mud brick on a marble column. Listen to this, okay? Putting a fool in a place of honor is like setting a mud brick on a marble column. In the New King James Version, it says, like one who binds a stone in a sling is he who gives honor to a fool. Because everybody know that this person ain't right. All right? And you trusting them anyway. Verse 9, to ask a moron to quote a proverb is like putting a scalpel in the hands of a drunk. Wow. In the New King James Version, it says, like a thorn that goes into the hand of a drunkard is a proverb in the mouth of fools, because they ain't gonna get it right, man. See that, and that's the one thing that you can count on, that a fool will never get a proverb. Right? Wisdom don't rest in the bosoms of fools. Let me say that again. Wisdom does not rest in the bosoms of fools. Okay? Verse 10, hire a fool or a drunk and you shoot yourself in the foot. In the New King James Version, it says, the great God who formed everything gives the fool for his hire and the transgressor his wages. Because you're gonna have to account for your actions. And a lot of people don't even take that under consideration. Okay? They don't even take that under consideration. Verse 11, as a dog eats his own vomit, so fools recycle silliness. In the New King James Version, it says, as a dog returned to his own vomit, so a fool repeats his folly. You ever seen a dog throw up? Man, that dog gonna go back and sniff. Whatever it is they told me, gonna go back and sniff it. That's the same thing with a fool, man. You ain't gonna get a fool. You ain't gonna be able to separate a fool from his folly, from his foolishness. You're not gonna be able to do it. Verse 12, see that man who thinks he's so smart You can expect far more from a fool than from him. In the New King James Version, it says, "Do you see a man wise in his own eyes? There is more hope for a fool than for him." Okay? All right? There's more hope for a fool than for somebody that think they know it all, got all the answers. All right? And a fool is better than a liar. Right? It's better to be a foolish person than be a liar. Verse 13. Loafers say, "It's dangerous out there. Tigers are prowling the street," and then pull the covers back over their heads. In the New King James Version, it says, "The lazy man says there's a lion in the road. A fierce lion is in the street." In other words, man, a lazy person will find any kind of excuse. Hey, Tanya, happy Saturday to you. Thank you for joining me. We'll find, and thank you for that blessing yesterday, girl. I appreciate you. Okay, a lazy person, man, gonna find any kind of reason in the world to not do anything productive. You know, that's a lazy person. They'll make find any kind of excuse to justify why they're doing what they're doing. Okay? Verse 14. Just as a door turns on its hinges, so is a lazy bone turned back over in the bed. Man, you ever seen? I'm telling you, to ever see this kind of person is a sight to behold. Somebody that, man, they love that bed more than they love food. They won't get out of that bed sometime to even get something to eat. That's how lazy they are. And when you start adopting that kind of mentality, it robs you of your initiative. You see, when you start getting lazy, man, you don't have no initiative. You don't have no get up and go whatsoever. Okay? You're always looking for the easy way out when you're lazy. All right? Verse 15. A shiftless sluggard, I just said that, puts his fork in the pie, but is too lazy to lift it to his mouth. Now, now that's sad. When you so lazy that you too even trifling to feed your own self. Somebody got to come and feed you your food because you too lazy to pick the fork up and put it to your own mouth. In the New King James Version, it says, "The lazy man buries his hand in the bowl. It wearies him to bring it back to his mouth." I mean, how lazy can you be, man, that you're so trifling you can't feed yourself? Now that's pathetic. Okay? Verse 16. Dreamers fantasize their self-importance. They think they're smarter than a whole college faculty. In the New King James Version, it says, "The lazy man is wiser in his own eyes than 7 men can answer sensibly." The lazy man is wiser in his own eyes than 7 men who can answer sensibly. Verse 17. This is the 26th chapter of Proverbs. You grab a mad dog by the ears when you butt into a quarrel that's none of your business. Listen, you grab a mad dog by the ears when you butt into a quarrel that's none of your business. Matter of fact, in the New King James Version, it says, "He who passes by and meddles in a quarrel not his own is like one who takes a dog by the ears." If you grab a dog by the ears, man, you're gonna get bit. It's just that simple. You grab a dog by the ears, you're gonna get bit. Okay? So when you see somebody that's cause this is why I don't fool around with married folk. When married folk have a fight, man, let them fight. Leave them alone. Lovers, leave them alone. Cause see, they'll some of them be using that for makeup sex. And you be butting in some stuff and then end up turning on you. And you thinking you doing a good deed. No, man, leave them jokers alone. Leave that quarrel alone. Let it go. Verse 18 and 19. People who shrug off deliberate deception, saying, "I didn't mean it, I was only joking," are worse than careless campers who walk away from smoldering campfires. See, people who shrug off deliberate deception, saying, "I didn't mean it, I was only joking." And let me tell you something. See, this is the person. Whenever a person says something to you, and after that, they say, "Oh man, lighten up. You can't take no joke. Oh, I was just kidding." Whatever they said prior to that was true. Okay? Whenever somebody tell you, "Man, I was just kidding," "Oh, you can't lighten up, you can't take no joke," whatever they said prior to that, it was true. Okay? In the New King James Version, it say, "It like a madman who throws firebrand arrows and death is the man who deceives his neighbor and says, 'I was only joking.'" Okay? And see, you got a lot of people, and y'all got to remember that. See, when somebody tell, "Oh man, I was just joking, I lighten up, I'm just having a good," you get whatever they talking about, man, that stuff is true. It's true. Okay? Verse 20. When you run out of wood, the fire goes out. When the gossip in, the quarrel dies down. In the New King James Version, it says, "Where there is no wood, the fire goes out. And where there's no talebearer, strife ceases." That's the gossip. And that's what I be trying to tell y'all. Stay away from the drama. This ain't the time to get caught up in no drama. Okay? Stay away from that. Stay away from it. And sometimes it might be your children, your family, your friends. Stay away from the drama, man. Verse 22. Verse 21. A quarrelsome person in a dispute is like kerosene thrown on a fire. A quarrelsome person in a dispute is like kerosene thrown on a fire. In the New King James Version, it says, "As charcoal is to burning coals and wood to fire, so is a contentious man to kindle strife," because all they want is confusion. They don't want to, and you got to realize that some people will use drama and confusion for attention. Let me say that again. Some people will use drama and confusion because it brings them attention. Okay? That's how they get noticed. That's how they get people to respond with the drama. Okay? Verse 22. Listening to gossip is like eating cheap candy, and you don't want junk like that in your belly. All right? Listening to gossip is like eating cheap candy. Because, my grandmama used to tell me, baby, if a dog would bring you a bone, he'll carry one. You see, and that person that is bringing you some gossip about somebody else, uh, I am Jewish. that's why. Leave him alone, Tanya. That's why I on a Saturday. What's going on, Edward? That's why I on a Saturday as my Sabbath. Okay, I am Jewish. And matter of fact, the original Jews look like me. Since you want to come up in here, yeah, I know. In the New King James Version, it says, the words of a talebearer are like tasty trifles, and they go down in the inmost body. But when you start dealing with some gossip, okay? See, and that's what a lot of people want. And you got some folk, man, they always got to be the first one hot off the press with the gossip. Okay? Okay. Uh I don't know who this is, but I don't your friends, whoever it is, they broke. So ain't no sense in me. I don't I'm not for everybody. I'm not for everybody at this age in my life. I'm not for everybody. I'm not for everybody. I don't want to be for everybody. Everybody, when you for everybody, you're common. And anybody can have you, you common. I'm not common. Okay? And definitely not walking around with my dick in my hand. Okay? Let's get that straight right now. All right. Where was I? Verse 23. Smooth talk from an evil heart is like glaze on cracked pottery. God diggity dog. Smooth talk from an evil heart is like glaze on cracked pottery. In the New King James Version, it says, fervent lips with a wicked heart are like the earthenware covered with silver draws. In other words, it ain't real. Okay? It's not real at all. Your enemy shakes hands and greets you like old friend, all the while conniving against you. When he speaks warmly to you, don't believe him for a minute. He's just waiting for the chance to rip you off. Okay? No matter how cunningly he conceals his malice, eventually his evil will be exposed in public. Okay? All right? So no matter what a person is doing, they're gonna always be revealed. Listen to this. He who hates disguises it with his lips and lays up deceit within himself. When he speaks kindly, do not believe him, for there are seven abominations in his heart. Though his hatred is covered by deceit, his wickedness will be revealed before the assembly. See, and this is what I'm trying to tell y'all, man. You see, this going around saying one thing and meaning something else, not being sincere about what you're doing, it's gonna be exposed. All that stuff is gonna be exposed. All of this, and you seeing it now in politics. Look at this Epstein, man. That's just the beginning. That's just the beginning. It's gonna be a whole lot of stuff that people have done thinking that this was in secret and it's coming out. Verse 27, malice backfires, spite boomerangs. See, what you reap what you sow. This is what it's saying. In the New King James Version, it says, whoever digs a pit will fall into it, and he who rolls a stone will have it rolled back on him. That's why revenge ain't no good, man. Revenge, and see, and when I see this scripture right here, whoever digs a pit will fall into it. Look at how they going after. Now, I'm by no means think that Obama was good for black folk, because Obama did more for the gay folk than he did for anybody. But whoever digs the pit will fall into it. And they trying to say that he done committed treason and all this other stuff. See, that whole you digging for Obama is for you. See, and that's why when you're trying to go after folk, man, listen, whoever digs a pit will fall into it. And he who rolls a stone will have it roll back on them. So you know, all of this getting even and revenge and all that, man, don't even waste your time. Because the only person you're hurting is yourself. That's all. Verse 28. Liars hate their victims. Flatterers sabotage trust. Liars hate their victims. Flatterers sabotage trust. And that's what's wrong with today. We got too many people that are using flattery to get people to drop their guard. And that's why we don't have no distrust. That's why we got so much distrust among us. In the New King James Version, it says, a lying tongue hate those who are crushed by it, and a flattering mouth works ruin. So the next time somebody come up on you and they got all of this flattery, all these accolades and all this other stuff, man, don't see that's how that matter of fact, look here. That's how you can get, if you want whatever you want from Trump right now, all you gotta do is flatter him. And you can get whatever you want. You go in there and flatter him. And don't even mean it. And you got people right now that all you got to do is flatter them. And you can get whatever it is you're looking for. Okay? And if you know that that's so you're not sincere. Your flattery is just to manipulate the process. And you got so many people right now that's what they're doing, to manipulate the process. All right? All right, that's the end of the 26th chapter of Proverbs today. Um, like I said, man, if you go through and read Proverbs, Proverbs will show you how to live today. You ain't got to wonder what it's like 2,000 years ago, because it's going to show you today in 2025 what you should and should not be doing, and how, I mean, like this is dealing with lazy people. This chapter here, fools and lazy people, and we all got those in our lives right now, and some of them family, and some of them family, and this is showing you how to deal with it. Okay, and that's what, if the see, what people are not wanting to accept now is that your actions are going to dictate how things come to you. You know, you can get out here and you can lie, cheat, steal, cut corners, to get rich quick. So that's just the way it is. Okay, that's just the way it is. Boy, I tell you, man, I tell you, it's amazing. Uh, it's amazing, uh, the extent that people will go uh, to try to get your attention, to to be a part of the conversation. Um, but I'm just going on and just hide you. just going on, just going on and hide you. just going on, get rid of you. Because I know that's a troll. So go get one of your other accounts and come back. That's what you got to do. Get one of your, man. And I'm telling y'all, man. We in for some turbulent times coming up, and a lot of people are gonna panic because they've never experienced this before in life, and this is why I keep saying, man, we got more in common than we do differences if we just start talking to each other. Because somewhere along the way, man, we're gonna need each other. We're gonna need each other, and uh, and there's nothing worse than needing someone and you at odds, and the very person that you've been pitted against is the person that's got your answer. That's the part that you got people walking around wanting to speak to each other, afraid of each other, and they got each other's answer, but because they won't talk, because they won't communicate, they won't realize, they got each other's answer, they can solve each other's problem, but no, okay? That's not the goal, because if you start depending upon each other, then you won't be making the rich richer. Because you're now circulating your wealth among each other. And they don't want you to circulate your wealth among each other. They want you to only give it to them. That's why they keep us divided. That's why they keep us at each other. Because as long as we're doing that, we're going to, all the money we spend, everything we need, we're going to go to them for all our needs. We're going to them, to the rich, for all our needs. So get away from that drama, man. Get away from that drama. Get away from that confusion. Okay? Get away from it. And see don't life start looking up, because I keep telling y'all, man, there's a shift in the universe, buddy, whether you want to accept it or not. There's a change. All of this backbiting and negativity and dog eat dog, man, that stuff is gone. Okay? It's a new day now. And every day, and you notice how fast time is moving? Look here we are. We're the 26th. Look like July just got here. And here we are next week. We're into August. Man, in fact, what is it? Next Friday, August 1st, next Friday. Next Friday, August 1st. And some of us ain't going to be here. Some of us not going to make it to next Friday. See, yeah, and a lot of people take that for granted, that they're going to be here. Look at that boy off of the Cosby Show. Malcolm Jamal Warner. Go down to Costa Rica, man, and died. It cost more to bring him back dead than it did for him to go down there alive. And that's the truth. They got to bring his body back. And that's expensive. That ain't cheap. That's not cheap. Not cheap at all. You die overseas. And your body got to be shipped back, man, that ain't cheap. That's not cheap. So no, don't take it for granted, man, because and so many people that have gotten another chance still doing the same thing. Then got another chance. God then gave you another chance, and you still stuck in that same behavior that got you where you are in the beginning. You still stuck there. And you want somebody to feel sorry for you. I mean, you can, man. You can. All right? Anyway, I see y'all. I'm out.